Very quickly, we'll just talk Manchester United very quickly, David. A quiet January, which I think we were expecting, but does it speak to what's predicted to be a crazy summer for United, both departures and arrivals?
Yeah, we say crazy. It often doesn't materialise to be as literal as that, but I do think there's a lot that they want to do. Most importantly, central midfield. And so that's why we are going to see continued links with the likes of Elliot Anderson, of Adam Wharton, of Carlos Baleba, and there will be others in the frame because that is such a critical position, especially now Casemiro has confirmed his departure. There's also intrigue around the left-sided attacking position because obviously they were in for Antoine Semenyo, didn't get him. They'll have Rashford and Sancho departing. So that's an existing aim for that part of the pitch. Will Harry Maguire be leaving the club? He's been so important, but this is his option year and he's due to leave. No news on a new contract, so central defence will be an area of focus. So there's a number of positions there that Manchester United and whoever the new head coach is going to be, which is going to be one of the biggest stories of 2026, whether it be Michael Carrick or a fresh appointment altogether. And I think the early signs of Carrick have given Manchester United fans some hope and people around Manchester United, despite it being very embryonic, that better times could be ahead. However, we have been here before and actions speak louder than words.
Well, I was at Old Trafford yesterday and never did I think I'd be writing, these words this season. Manchester United are now 12 points off top. Yep. We're actually looking up the table rather than down. I was there earlier in the season and, parts of last season on the Ruben Amorim, and it felt like a stadium that were waiting for Manchester United to lose. Yesterday, it felt like a stadium that were waiting for them to win. Kevin scores the equaliser in the 91st minute, but never do you think it's over, and sure enough, that's how it played out.
They didn't seem to be in the race for him. Well, publicly anyway. We thought maybe Chelsea were the favourites to land Xhaka. He is going to Liverpool, but he is going to go in the summer. Do you think this is a fallout maybe from what happened last summer when Liverpool kind of waited around and didn't end up getting Mark Guéhi, and now he's gone to Manchester City? Have they decided, we've learned our lesson, let's get this guy in and let's get him in now, and we've got him in the summer?
Yeah, that may very well be the case. I mean, we sat here, didn't we, five months ago, last day of the August window, and everyone's Liverpool have won the transfer market. They're cock-a-hoop. They've got Ekitike. They've managed to get Isak over the line. They've got Florian Wirtz. They're going to win. I think they won the first 5 in the league. But it was the deal that they didn't get done, which has ended up really, really badly costing them in retrospect. Guéhi's obviously gone to Manchester City now. All the talk was that Rennes weren't going to let Xhaka go in the middle of the season. They lost Truffert to Bournemouth, obviously in the summer. So, everyone knows that they have they're incredibly good production line. People talking about Xhaka as he's aerially dominant. He's very good on the ball. I think he's only 20 years old. The data checks out, but I think Liverpool are going to wonder whether especially when they look back at that Guéhi deal, whether they've almost kind of lost the season in a way, that they had a chance to fix that defence almost overnight. Guéhi's not, we all know what a good player he is, and it wouldn't have fixed all of their problems. But if you look at some of the way, the way that Liverpool have defended this season, the points that have been dropped from often quite dominant positions, simply just through not being solid enough, through not having that presence. Van Dijk's had a comparatively poor season. Joe Gomez obviously gets injured a lot. Gio Leone, who I think that a lot of people at the club rate him quite highly. Obviously he's out for the season. He'll be back in the summer. So I think there's a lot of regrets. I think there's a lot of buyers. What's the opposite of buyer's remorse? Like non-buyer's remorse at Liverpool. That for all the business they did in the summer, that it was the deal they didn't get done that it might have hobbled their title, their title defence before it even started.
Well, I wrote a piece at the weekend for the Daily Mail, Alexander Isak, the British record transfer, the richest deal in British history for which everybody is poorer. It's the transfer that's really worked for nobody. And a footnote within that is that because Liverpool during those final hours of the window were so obsessed and everything was geared towards getting the Isak deal done, they actually, with regards time, it impacted on Mark Guéhi, and they've just run out of time when Guéhi's having the medical done there. So that did play a part in that. And as Jonathan quite rightly says, I think I was on the show with you, we're sat in this exact seat back in September on the back of 5 straight victories, and we're talking about Isak hitting the ground running and coming in and him and Ekitike dovetailing and running away with the league. They haven't. Not really because of Isak, more so because of what they missed out on at the back. Now, they could probably have done with Xhaka coming in tomorrow. As it is, it's going to be the summer. That was always the terms of the deal. And you read guys who you respect in France. I'll be honest, I'd never heard of him until this window, but you read what they're saying about him today. And yeah, it seems as if he's overcome adversity. He's taken a circuitous route. He's got that desire, that determination. He's overcome something called Osgood Schlatt's disease, which I went through. I'm not going to get my knees out on live television, but I've still got the big lumps below my knees there to prove it now. He's overcome that. So everything about him tells you he is a player worth the investment and worth waiting for.